Welcome back to Law Talk Moments. I'm attorney Rob Caprara, and today I'm continuing in my task of trying to make the complex simple in the field of probate law. Last week, we discussed the definition of probate assets, which are essentially the assets which a decedent owns at the instant of his or her death. These are the assets that a person's will controls. Today, I'd like to go a bit further and talk a little bit about the probate process and why we need it in the probate of wills and in the probate of assets. I know this might sound a little fuzzy, so let me try to clear the air by offering a little background to try to make the complex simple. When a person dies, it is common for potential beneficiaries to have an expectation of receiving an inheritance from the dead person. We call him or her the decedent. These beneficiaries are referred to as issue if they are in direct bloodline, or simply heirs if they are in the decedent's family tree. These beneficiaries might further be referred to as a devisee if they will receive an inheritance of real estate, or as a legatee if they will receive an inheritance of personal property, cash or things. So now the technical question needs to be asked. Right after a decedent dies, who owns the decedent's property? Is it the property of the inheritors yet? Not really, though we could argue they have what is called an equitable title. We'll leave that rabbit trail for another program. Let's just proceed with the understanding that the beneficiaries don't own the inheritance yet. The property has to pass through the probate process, or as we say, we have to probate the estate. It is the probate process that ultimately proves the transfer of title from the decedent to the beneficiary. In fact, the essential definition of the word probate is proof. Owning property requires the ability to prove your ownership. When you buy a house, you get a deed. When you buy a stock, you get a certificate. When you buy a car, you get a title. When you buy a large appliance, you get a bill of sale. In all those instances, you have something to prove your ownership. But I ask again, how do you prove your ownership of something that you might inherit? It is through the paperwork filed in the probate process. In this light, I trust you'll agree with me that the probate court is an indispensable part of our financial system because it is where people prove their ownership to billions upon billions of dollars of assets in our culture. Simply, the completed probate process proves ownership in the beneficiary of assets that the decedent owned before he or she died. A thoughtfully drafted will guides us in this process. You can see it is vital to have a good will in a good estate plan to accomplish your family goals. I encourage you to turn to a qualified estate planning attorney who can help you in this important challenge. Next week, we'll continue considering the overall topic of probate by answering the commonly asked question, why does the probate process seem to take so long? So we invite you to continue to join us here at Law Talk Moments. We are committed to promoting the noble practice of law and making this law more understandable and usable by you. So take care and see you soon.